I'm Carissa. Welcome to Census 2020 Digital Organizing Training on Email. I'm excited to talk you through a tried and true digital tactic that we all know and love. Today we'll talk about the fundamentals of email engagement, including establishing a relationship with your list, choosing a mailer, the nuts and bolts of email content, design, segmentation, and deliverability. Then we'll talk through some email best practices. First, let's talk about why we send email. Take a minute to think about why you go to your own email inbox. You go to pay your bills, check your bank account balance, see news updates, learn about deals and sales. I would argue it's the only digital place where people intentionally go to make transactions. You go to your email inbox to receive and give information. So email is a perfect chance to both give information to and source actions like donations from your email audience in a place where they're expecting it. This is why email, despite not being the newest piece of digital organizing technology, is still one of the best ways you can engage your audience. So what should your emails say? It's important for your organization to find your voice, a voice that really resonates with your audience. We call this your public narrative. The things your email audience should take away from every email are: why should I read or take action now? Why should I be the one to take action? And why should your organization be the one to take action with? You need to draw your members in and explain how what you're asking them to do will help address the current moment. While not every email should have a real dire feel, it is important to be earnest and honest with your email audience about how their actions can make a difference. When developing your story of now, reflect on these questions. What's the challenge we're facing right now? What do we need to do to overcome this challenge? What do these actions look like? And what are we asking others to do? What's our plan to overcome the challenge at hand? How can we give our audience an opportunity to join us in taking action? Why should our audience get involved now as opposed to another time? It's important to set lofty goals with reachable benchmarks to help you define what success looks like for your program. You can use industry average resources like M&R to see how your program stacks up to other programs in terms of open rate, conversions, donations, and unsubscribed. It's important to not get trapped by vanity metrics that may seem meaningful but don't actually translate to helping you meet your goals. For example, if you have an email list of 100,000 people, but only 1,000 of those people have opened an email in the last 3 months, having a 100,000 person email list is a vanity metric. It sounds good, but those 100,000 people aren't actually making any impact. Now let's talk about how to pick an email platform. Think of your email platform as your central repository for data on all of your online constituents. You should use a tool that helps you track your goals and matches your level of online advocacy needs. There are so many tools out there that can help you decide which mailer matches your price range and sophistication needs, and we've listed a few of our favorites here. Now let's talk about messaging. We suggest thinking about your Census email content in 4 content buckets. First is dispelling misinformation. Use this bucket to dispel prevalent misinformation happening in the digital space about the census. Position yourself as a subject matter expert and use facts and statistics to help you make your case. Second is organizational milestones. Share content that highlights successes in your efforts. Third is organizational sentiment. This should be thought of as commentary. And fourth is announcements. When organizing the body content of your email, it's best to use the ADA format. You want to grab the reader's attention. This is where you're telling the story of now. Keep it short and sweet. Next, you have to relay the purpose of your email to that reader's interest. Now, you have to create a desire for your reader to take action. Show how past volunteers really made the difference in your efforts. Now it's time to make the explicit ask. You ask your reader to take a specific action. Remember, you want to set your volunteers up for success, so be sure to link them to more information or a site that enables them to take your requested action. Next up is email design. There are so many considerations as you decide how to design your email. Who's going to be the voice of the sender, and what's their tone of voice like? How does the email look at a glance? Make sure to establish a recognizable look and feel so that when people open your emails, they recognize your brand. There are a lot of technical considerations here too, like the size of the email text and the visibility of the buttons and the links, and making sure your email looks good on all devices and mail clients. The mailer you choose should ideally come with a basic email template that works for all of your users, but it's super important to thoroughly check each email before it goes out to your list. Ideally, this check is not done by the person who wrote or the person who built the email. List segmentation is an important concept to consider to ensure your content reaches your audience and that it's actually relevant to what they've indicated that they're interested in. Consider what data you have on the people on your email list, perhaps on topics your subscribers have shown interest in, where they're located, their demographic data, and their level of commitment to your organization. And it's important to send emails based on this data. It will help you build trust with your list, since acknowledging past action is still the #1 best way to ask for your users to do something else. But it's also going to improve deliverability because people won't mark you as spam if they're actually interested in your content. Keep this ladder of engagement handy as you work to build a strong online base. It's a good idea to revisit this ladder with your team a few times a quarter to assess how you're building your digital presence and how you can generate more online interest and action around your organization. Deliverability is a subject that we could dedicate an entire hour-long training to, but we're just going to make sure that you know the basics and we'll refer you to more resources to learn more. The important thing to know is that email service providers will punish your list if you have old emails that can no longer be delivered to, or if people are marking your emails as spam. This usually happens when people aren't clear about how they got on your email list in the first place, or if they haven't been contacted by you in a long time and they forgot how they got on your list. I want to leave you with some email campaign best practices. First, let's talk about the do's. Always be aware of your audience and what they're interested in hearing from you about, and always have a purpose for why you're emailing your list. Use images in your emails. Always, always, always spell check your emails before they go out. Make it easy for people on your list to opt in and to opt out. Conduct A/B tests so you can see what's working with your list and lean into that when possible. And always segment your list based on what people are interested in hearing from you about. Here are some don'ts. Please don't buy your list. Please do not send everybody the same email. Don't ignore the analytics or the metrics on what's coming back. Don't forget about mobile. Most people are reading emails on their phone these days. And don't send without testing and checking every single link, button, and image. Thank you so much for coming with me on this email journey. I hope this is beneficial for you as you're learning to execute your email programs, and best of luck out in the field on your census work.